I love how Zoom meetings start with a bunch of people usually because everybody's so desperate for human interaction.
Not desperate, excited.
Just going to wait a minute or two while some more people jump in before we get started.
I personally love seeing all the names that I'm like, oh, I've gotten an email from that person before.
Oh, we're sorry.
No, I feel like Rachel Calkins and I have been like pen pals for like 6 years.
Hello, everyone. Daniel's from Atlanta.
Hi.
How we all doing?
Good.
Surviving.
Great.
I'm about the same.
Mads, do you want to start one of the polls?
Yeah.
As people come in?
We can see where everyone's from.
All right. So what are we getting for the poll results so far? All right. Lots of people from the Northeast. Well, I guess, we'll still have some people coming in, but just wanted to start by introducing the Triple C people. If everybody could just go around and tell everybody your name and your job title at Triple C. And I'll start. I'm Azure Collier. I'm your moderator today, and I'm the Content Marketing Director at Triple C, and I'm coming to you from Brooklyn, New York.
I can go next. My name is Rachel Mazzola, and I'm the Event Manager here at Triple C.
Where are you, Rachel?
Oh, Boston. Where I've been for the last 6 weeks.
At least you don't have kids, Rachel.
Sure.
My name is Kate Kennedy. I'm the Customer Marketing Manager at Triple C, and I am in the beautiful state of New Hampshire. Live free or die in New Hampshire.
I'm Leita Youngren. I'm the VP of Marketing, and I'm coming to you from New Jersey.
I'm Rachel Calkins. I'm the Marketing Coordinator, and I'm at Triple C, and I'm also outside Boston.
My name is Christina Johnidis, and I'm an account manager in New York, but I live in Queens, New York.
I'm Daniel Chavone. I'm an account manager based out of Atlanta.
We have Katie, I think, but she's on mute.
Oh, okay.
And I think we have a small enough group. If you guys want to introduce yourselves and where you guys are and what venue, if any, you are associated with, or work, you know, these are weird times.
Sorry, Lei Tai was on mute.
Katie's in LA, so she's our West Coast represent.
In the middle of making lunch, I was like, wait, it's 12:30. I need to log on. I'm Katie R. I am based in Los Angeles, and I am the regional sales manager for Southern California and Hawaii.
I'm Beth Koenig with Scholson Collective. It's a restaurant group in Philadelphia.
I'm Holly Carpenter. I'm with A Marshall Hospitality, which is a restaurant group in Nashville. Hi, Leslia.
Holly with the red hair. We'll never forget.
It doesn't look very red right now because I need to go to my hairdresser.
Oh my God. I am with you. I'm so with you.
I'm also 5 months pregnant, so my hair is growing like crazy.
Oh, congratulations.
So it's even worse.
Awesome.
I guess I'll go next. I'm Taylor Duncan with Front Burner Restaurant Group, and I live in Dallas, but I'm from Boston, so.
Woohoo!
Go northeast. No, yeah, northeast.
If anyone else is comfortable.
Yeah.
If not, it's okay too.
Or you can introduce yourself later. We're not in a hurry. No one's going anywhere. So our topic today is how hospitality professionals are leveraging social media to drive new business. And we have some tips and we have some things that we've seen, but we also want to hear from you guys to find out what you are doing well with social media and what's been working for you. But I did, before we begin, just want to find out, Maz, if you could run the poll, what marketing tools you guys are using right now.
Hold on.
Let's see. And you can choose more than one.
Mute myself. Crying child.
Has everybody had a chance to click the poll? No?
Not yet.
I'm just going to assume that most of you out there are using Facebook and Instagram because that's what we see a lot of restaurants and venues using right now.
Okay, cool. We have and share.
Wow, 100% Instagram. That's awesome. Oh, great. Okay, cool. A lot of you guys are doing some great posts. I mentioned some of these in the blog post that I did yesterday about 10 things you should be posting to drive business. So good job, guys. So I just wanted to start out just to make sure, if you haven't been using social media to alert people, just make sure you are in touch with your customers on a daily basis and multiple times a day. I know that the tradition has been don't overpost, don't overshare, but we're in a time now where all of your customers now are bored or they're working from home and they're taking, a break with Facebook. And so they might not see your post the first time because they're getting tons and tons of messages their way, but just make sure you keep at it. And as long as you're friendly and helpful and you're giving them information they need, they won't mind if they've seen a delicious burger photo from you twice. They will probably be happy about that. But I wanted to call out Taylor Duncan because Whiskey Cake has been doing such a great job with their social media posts. So Taylor, you guys have so many changes you have to keep up with. So you're doing really well on social media. What kinds of things have you tried and what are you looking to try?
Yeah, thank you. It's been insane. A lot of the stuff that we're doing, honestly, is it's actually given us the opportunity to unfurlough some of our sales managers. So instead of pushing group dining and private events, we're literally pushing quarantine kits, to-go, delivery, and that sort. And most of their job is posting on social media and responding to guests. It's so hard for our leadership team to keep up with all of the restaurants via website, just because each restaurant is doing different specials every single day based on availability. We support local businesses, so we source locally. So it depends on, which restaurant can get what products available during that time. And so we have people that literally their entire job is to all day post on social, respond to DMs, respond to Facebook messages, and take orders that way. So that's kind of how we're able to keep up with our sales and able to keep our restaurant doors open right now.
That's great. I know that there's been talk of Texas businesses reopening a little bit. Has that changed, or are you getting a lot of increase from people from your locations on what's going on?
It varies. We don't really know too much just yet because Dallas County is saying one thing and the state saying another. And so there's a lot of kind of back and forth with that. But we have seen our sales boost basically from before Easter and on. We got our takeout style food back because we were able to hire some cooks back. So instead of doing just the quarantine survival kits, which are basically grocery kits, we're now able to offer a lot of our menu items already cooked and ready to go. So we can do like big family meals that are cooked and ready for people to pick up. And that's helped us increase sales. And then obviously with the addition of allowing alcohol to go, whiskey cake, whiskey bar, right? So that was a part of it. But yeah, like we've been able to do cool recipes like doing chicken pot pies, banana bread. Our chef did a bacon bourbon chocolate chip cookie dough pints.
Whoa.
So we're doing stuff we wouldn't normally do, but it's working and we're able to build sales from it. So again, it's all about just keeping up with the demand and getting back to guests immediately. And that's how we've been able to be successful.
That's great. Holly, I know that you guys, your locations are doing a lot on social media too. And I think, aren't some of your locations also spotlighting your employees and just kind of giving shout outs and saying hi, wishing everybody well, and the customers get to see some of their favorite people online. How has that been going for you guys?
Yeah, we actually, we had a crazy one. We've been doing the spotlights of certain managers that have been working, because we've kept some of our stores open for to-go and takeout only, but some of our stores, like our steakhouse, we closed for now. So that manager and chef is over at a different location helping out. And so we've kind of been doing that and taking pictures. We have a trolley, which is our food truck. And so we've been doing community outreach pictures with that. But the major one we had was over the weekend, somebody graffitied one of our restaurants.
Oh my God.
And our owner got on social media and just did a really awesome post. Like, really, I mean, it wasn't like saying anything negative in any way, but we had more followers and more shares on that post than we've had any post in like weeks. And we have no idea why that particular post blew up. If it was because it was like a Facebook Live, if it was because he posted on a Sunday morning. The funny thing is our owner is a little religious, so I saw a Sunday morning post and I was like, oh, he's doing something like praise Jesus again. So I ignored it and then found out what it was, and I was like, holy crap. So we're finding like it's, I think it's kind of what you said. A lot of people are working from home, or they're sitting at home with nothing to do, so they're looking at those kind of videos where normally they don't.
So Beth, what have you guys been experiencing with your restaurants? What kinds of things are getting attention for you?
Actually, we just started doing takeout yesterday. And our chef, the chef owner, Michael, he's actually been doing cooking classes on his Instagram. So like fun. Going through Instagram TV. So that's been prompting a lot of draw as well. But once he started saying, we're open for takeout, like we're using all Instagram, like we're having them order through Instagram and kind of keeping it interactive as well. So we're just like starting out with 2 of our restaurants right now just to see how it goes. And then we're going to open it up to 3 more restaurants. But he's like, I want to be the best takeout and delivery person in Philadelphia. I'm like, okay, see how we're going to do this. So I heard it was really, really busy last night. So it's awesome.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah.
I was curious, Beth, I saw an ad that you can now order takeout through Instagram. So on the consumer side of it, I got alerted to it, and I thought, for Instagram's part, genius to get in the game. But curious for everyone else on the call, like show of hands, how many people have taken advantage of that? And then want to know just how it worked. I mean, people love to hate on all the other third-party deliveries. So I was curious if Instagram was just the new one we hate, or if they figured out something good.
I'll put that link in the chat too. Here's an article from Eater that announced that change in their features.
I know, that was awesome. Thanks for adding that, because I sent it to my VP. But we're actually adding the, like in the Instagram story where you can add, like you can order right there, and that's through our Toast, which is our POS system. So they're actually doing it through that as well. So it's going through the story, and then I don't know if they added it to the regular page, but I have to investigate that further. It's so hard working from home, and like other people are at the office, and I feel like I'm on an island, so I don't always know what's happening.
Anybody, no one else has used that one yet? It's really nice of Instagram to open that up, because usually you have to have a huge following, or you have to use ads to include clickable links for your posts. So I thought this was just really, really nice of them to offer that for restaurants. How about, Beth, you mentioned live streaming. Has anybody else been doing some live streaming? That tends to really capture people's attention, because with Instagram and Facebook, they have had such an emphasis on the live streaming features for the last couple of years. So they will alert your followers if you're doing something live. It's just such a great way to get attention.
Holly, maybe that's why the Sunday post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, we've done some. The only thing I'll say about the live streaming right now, because I had somebody, a very good friend of mine who like works for Fortune 500, is to remember your surroundings and what you look like when you're doing it. Because like our marketing director did one with no makeup, and you know, granted we were outside doing deliveries and whatever, but he was like, who's that ghost on your live stream?
Oh my God.
I was like, oh. So, and you know, we had one where somebody was doing something, somebody like honked really crazy as they were going by. So just know your surroundings before you do the live stream.
That's good advice even outside of this.
Normal. When you're doing live stream in general, look around you. Like I've done multiple of these kind of calls, and like when my boyfriend's here, he's like walking in the background, opening a beer, and I'm like, God, I'm not on the phone with the client, babe.
At least he has clothes on, right? Because you know,
one time he did not have a shirt. And like, babe, working from home.
Rachel Calkins is our Instagram guru. What have you seen, Rachel, that people are doing that you really liked? I mean, you spend, a bit of time on Instagram every day.
I love the lives as well, because it comes right to the top of the feed, so you can tune right in. And I've seen people add you can add a guest into your live. So when you're on Instagram, if you have your brand live, then you could add in guests and talk to people that way as well. So you can get some genuine conversations there. I've seen a lot of the quarantine kits that Taylor was referring to from their social as well, which is awesome. So I scroll through every day, and just seeing any other creative ways is awesome, and spreading awareness of all those things.
Rachel is also our kind of TikTok guru too. Have you seen any restaurants using TikTok?
Not as much. No, not as much. I think it's still a growing app within our industry. So I don't know. Do any of you guys use TikTok or no?
I don't personally, but the younger servers at our restaurant definitely do. It's like big for them. So I'm sure I could figure out how to use it, but I've never gotten on it. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's an interesting app. And Azure and I were at a conference in March, and they talked about using TikTok for businesses. So I don't know, maybe it could be something that comes out of this as people are at home and using it for fun things, but business use as well.
TikTok is like a black hole. Like I don't post anything on TikTok, but like once I'm like in it, I'm like in it for an hour, and I just can't stop watching videos. So actually it probably is a good avenue for restaurants, because if I'm watching a video and then I'm like, ooh, that food looks good, maybe I'll order it to go or something. I don't know, but definitely sucks you in.
Being that like 50-year-old person where I'm like, no, I refuse to do it. I refuse to get on it. I don't want it.
I refused for so long, and then I was like, I'm just gonna check it out, and now I can't get off of it.
It's addicting for sure.
I got
I've seen it enough where I'm like, no.
I got on during the conference that Rachel and I went to and used it a little bit. I hooked on the animal videos. So those are the best. Nice. Just wondering, like, timing, if you guys have found any timing that works for you. At Triple C, we have that big list of restaurants and their takeout menus, links to their takeout and delivery menus. And I've been trying to post those around lunch and dinner time when people are probably thinking about food and, you know, using the hashtags lunch and dinner to help them find the posts. But I just wondered if there's any timing that you guys have found. Have you been, you know, creating a strategy for that?
We're actually talking about kind of the opposite of what you're talking about, but we're talking about when we do reopen, which in Tennessee, it's as early as next week for some locations, how we're going to fill in the gaps where, like, maybe we used to have like a couple of tables between like 2 and 4, but now we're not. And how do we get people to come in during those times? So we're talking about like offering maybe like half price breakfast if you come in between 9:30 and 11, and then maybe doing like a gift card promotion if you come in between 2 and 4, and kind of, you know, figuring out what those valleys are that we used to be able to get by, but now it's not going to be as, you know, effective if we're open and there's nobody in the restaurant.
I'm curious, the conversation, sorry, this is a little bit of a diversion, but you guys are you talking about opening as soon as next week? Wow. So what's the kind of, it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Is that what you said?
We're gonna start with lunch and dinner. So we're gonna open between I think it's either 10 or 11 to 7 in the beginning,
Wow.
and then start slowly adding breakfast on as we get there. But yeah, Tennessee, it's very odd. So the governor announced on Monday that all counties except for 6 will reopen through these phases that they're talking about, and that Metro Nashville, which is one of the other counties, the mayor gets to decide. And so the mayor is saying right now that it will be early May. But he's not giving a date yet. So I'm like, okay, well, it's April 23rd. But yeah, so all of our restaurants are opening back up, whether they were or not right now, on the 29th for to-go and curbside. And then the plan is, as soon as we get the yes, you're in this phase, we'll be reopening as well. But there's going to be, I've sat in several meetings now, what we're going to be offering. We're going to have sanitation stations throughout the restaurant, handing the customers little sanitizers when they sit down. Staff will have to have gloves and masks on. We won't be giving menus. We'll have QR codes that they could scan on their phone so they could see the menu. We will have disposable menus for those that don't have it. Like, I was like, I'm sorry, my dad still has a flip phone.
My parents live in Murfreesboro, and I bought them a gift card to Puckett.
Yay!
So there's no way they're doing the QR code.
Yeah, so we will have disposable menus for those guests, but we'll actually ask them to take them with them. Like, we won't take them back and reuse them. And then I think the craziest thing, which I'm still trying to wrap my head around, is it sounds like they're going to make us take people's temperatures.
Wow.
So that'll be fun.
And Holly, is the seating, is there a new seating plan?
Yeah, so according to the governor, it's going to be 50% capacity at first, and restaurants only. Bars aren't until, I think, phase 3 or 4. But there was another thing that the mayor of Nashville said today, where I think the first phase is only going to be like a third of the restaurant, and then phase 2 for Nashville will be half the restaurant. But the governor hasn't said that side. So it's kind of interesting right now, because we do have restaurants in different counties of what phases everyone's opening and what they're going to be able to do. So it's going to be very interesting across the board.
What have you heard from people, customers, about, you know, well, it's great that you're opening, but I still want to be safe and I'm not going out yet? Are you hearing that kind of thing?
No, not really. I mean, we haven't really as far as parties are concerned, most of them have changed or pushed back or whatever. I do a lot on social media just to kind of see where it's at because I'm in such an interesting state. But there's some people that are like, I'm running out. I can't wait to go get a Bloody Mary. And then there's other people that are like me, where I'm like, y'all have fun. I'll be out in 3 weeks. Like, you guys get your, spread the germs. So it's kind of, my boss said it perfectly. Like, when you have a grand opening of a new restaurant, do you go the first day? Yes, some people do. People that are in the restaurant industry usually go a month later to let them get all the kinks out. So I think it's going to be very similar when we start reopening, where you're going to have those crazy people are going the first day, and then you're going to have those people that are going to stay home.
That's a great. Is anybody else on here with the restaurant planning to open in the next few weeks? Because that's the first I've actually heard of an implementation of a plan. So that's while yes, I feel like there's a lot of hesitation and a lot of trepidation around what that means. I think it's really interesting to see an action plan in place, and especially I think the QR code is I hadn't heard that yet. That's great, and the disposable menus, and I don't know about the temperature taken either, because that looks like, is that here you see everyone gets a disposable one? How does that work? Is it a scan? The scan?
One, yeah.
But is anyone else, does anyone else have a date, or is Holly the only one?
I'm down in Atlanta, and even though the state of Georgia is open for business, a lot of the actual establishments, I've seen them,
they're opting out, right? Most of them are, yeah.
I've seen a couple of posts from Atlanta restaurants.
I was the ones that I've seen are opting out. I don't know if that's representative of most, or just the ones that have gotten picked up on the news or shared on social media, but there's certainly a contingent of restaurants who are just, even though the state's open, we're choosing to remain closed, or however they phrase it. One is, to Leita's point, we don't know how to do it yet, right? We've all just been in lockdown. We haven't even really gotten to the question has been, when will we get out? Then when, and then how? So we haven't gotten to that third step yet. So a lot of them are trying to figure that out. An operational question that I've heard raised is, at this point, all your employees and things that are eligible for the paycheck protection, if it's essentially gets the state government off the hook for their portion of unemployment and all that, because they're eligible employees and they're now choosing not to work, and they're not out of work due to the pandemic. So a lot of that I haven't read into, but I think that will potentially be a lever that forces people to either have to operate when they're uncomfortable doing it, or before they've come up with a plan. So kudos to you guys for having thought through some of those implementation tactical items, because I've been reading a number of articles and things like that. Actually, I have one pulled up. I'll put it in the chat. But just the post-corona, I've been reading a ton of them. What flying's going to be like, and then a lot of them have been focused on restaurants and things like that. And so it's going to be different for sure. And that's maybe if we could open it up, when we think about, once we are all to that point, has anyone given thoughts to, on the event side of things, maybe different than your dine-in folks? I think that people will be more comfortable doing events with people that they know, an insulated group that they can choose who's in the space with them. And so I don't know, could be an opportunity. Everything is speculation at this point, but have people given thoughts to whether that, thinking that could be an opportunity for the second half of the year, which is normally huge for events anyway? And then what are you guys thinking about doing to make people feel comfortable and not be the person who opts out? Make it so that people feel comfortable coming and having an event, or whatever it may be.
Yeah, we've had some of those conversations already. Again, kind of piggybacking on the meetings we've been in. But one of the conversations we had is, what is the mandates going to be on private events versus dine-in, as far as, will we have to take temperatures for people if they are electing to have a private event? Because one of my conversations was, what if we have a rehearsal dinner and the groom has a temperature? Do we tell the groom he can't walk into his rehearsal dinner? Like, what are the mandates going to be? What are we going to have to change on our contracts? As far as, not even talking about force majeure, but, we have the right to change your dinner service, because are we going to be able to do buffet and family style, or is everything going to have to go plated? If we do buffet, are we going to have servers serve it, or are we going to have to give everyone individual serving tongs? Like those kind of, how is service going to change, and what is going to be mandated? Because technically right now, even with opening, we're not going to be able to have private dining, because you're not allowed to group in 10 or more. So, but I was going to say, because you're in Georgia, didn't Georgia do something weird, like phase 1, they opened bowling alleys or something?
Tomorrow.
Like, Governor, huge bowling fan? What is that?
And tattoos right, as well.
Tattoos, bowling, and hair salons, I think it was.
So all you people that need to get your hair colored, come on.
Oh my God.
Well, I'm coming. I can be to Atlanta in 2 hours.
I am a victim of the quarantine cut.
But I couldn't understand bowling alleys. Like, here the gyms aren't opening to like phase 3, and y'all are like, bowling alleys are open.
Gyms are in phase 1 too. Yeah. So you guys can all put your hands and fingers in the same.
Yeah.
hole.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the shoe. Don't forget
so
the
weird.
I'm gonna go get my tongue pierced. So,
yeah, you could do that from a distance, right? Like, no problem.
I don't. Also, I'm sorry for hijacking, but I just want to say, you hear how I speak. Our governor does not speak for all of us. He sounds awful on all the national news clips. The COVID-19 pandemic.
Just be happy you don't have the Las Vegas as your mayor.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry, that woman is awful.
I haven't heard her.
Oh, please Google Anderson Cooper. Somebody find that link and share it.
She had an epic interview with Anderson Cooper.
Oh, don't move to Vegas.
Yeah.
Wow, I gotta look it up.
Yeah, so we're in a weird place. As is the world. We're just being possibly forced out into it. But yeah, I am really curious. The buffet and family style is another great call out. Getting past the gatherings of X number or more is obviously going to change just what you can be offering. So two good call outs. Be interested to hear any others, or feel free to share them in a chat.
I'm also hearing some things coming up like Mother's Day, where there's some restaurants trying to figure out how to deal with that too. Like, do you, I guess, offer some special takeout or something, or wine tasting where you buy the wine and get it delivered and you do a virtual wine tasting? Has anybody started to think about, and I know it's a huge day for the restaurant industry. It's like one of the biggest money makers of the year. But a lot of people can't even go travel to see their moms for Mother's Day this year. So you have to figure it out virtually.
The wine tasting idea is amazing.
I like that.
I love that.
I know. I'll be happy if they do that for me. Yeah, that'd be great. I'm in. Sign me up.
It's not a wine tasting, but in New York, there's a bar. If anybody comes to New York, it's called Pocket Bar and Back Pocket. They're two separate spaces owned by the same woman. It's the greatest place. They play like all late 90s pop music, and it probably seats about 25 people. But they do on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, normally in the bar, they play bingo. So now they do virtual bingo every week, where you can either download the card. I think they make you pay like $5. It's going to the employee fund. But they do a virtual bingo every week, and it's super.
That's adorable.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, all those. I mean, take that and run with it.
Yeah.
Wine and bingo. Even better.
3 Shiraz across. You win.
I'm curious to see what kind of questions people have been getting from their customers online. Like, what are people asking about? You've been, a lot of you guys have been really great about sharing all the details of all the information of things that you've got going on, but are they requesting certain things, or, what are they saying?
We're still getting a lot of leads for future events. So my biggest question that I get is, when are you guys reopening? Or, can you host me? And I'm asking the same thing. Like I said in the chat, I'm trying to host my baby shower at some point. So it's a question we all have. And I really don't think, honestly, I have a feeling that the food and beverage minimums, we're going to be able to go higher, not lower, because there's so many people that have to reschedule, and now they're all trying to cram into such a small period. I just don't know what it looks like a la carte dining. And I don't know if, Holly and Beth, if you guys have already started doing like floor charts based on future capacities. Because I know, Holly, you said 50% was going to be your capacity.
Yeah, we already, for the in-house dining, we already kind of have that, because before we had to close permanently, a week before they cut us down to 50%. So we kind of already have a plan. As far as private dining, it's kind of going to be the same thing right now. Again, we haven't heard any mandates towards private dining. But like, for instance, Puckett's Nashville is opening a private dining room, that we just finished renovations on, and it's supposed to hold 60 people, but in the beginning, if we have to, it'll hold 30.
Yeah.
But I'm getting the same thing. The biggest question I'm getting is, are you going to be open? And, I will say it not to them, but to my boyfriend, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know. Like, I literally know what's being said on TV. But I was supposed to have my baby shower in Connecticut, where I'm originally from, in July, and my sister already called me and said, I don't want you flying. Like, even if this is, over and they're saying it's safe, like, we're still at risk. They don't know what it does to pregnancy. So she's canceled my shower at home, and we're just going to do that virtual, which sucks, but it's better safe than sorry.
I'm sure I speak for everybody. We want to host their event. It's so hard to, especially for weddings. I still have somebody holding on for June 20th, and it's probably
like optimistic.
Right. And I want to be optimistic too, but it's like the first full buyout that we have, because the food and beverage minimum is so incredibly high. And it's the first time in my 3.5 years that we actually booked something on a Saturday night.
Wow.
For a full buyout. And I'm just like, I really
don't want to lose that revenue. I know.
But what else can I do? And they can't officially say if they can reschedule, because their fiance is in medical school and they don't have another break. And I'm just like, okay. So it's just the unknowing. And us as planners, we have very difficult time with that.
Well, I'm so optimistic too, that, by mid-June, at least in a controlled opt-in environment, but, and that's why I think there's almost a better future for private dining in some senses, because you're controlling who and when and where, versus a la carte dining, which is, a crapshoot, but we just don't know. There's so many unknowns, right?
Right.
But Holly, it's like, I feel like this conversation next week, Holly, please come and join, because I really am curious to see how this plays out in the next couple of weeks, of how it rolls out, like who's showing up. Because I agree, and like, this is totally different. I know a lot of people keep drawing comparisons to like 9/11, but I was a waitress during 9/11, and I had a shift on 9/11, and I was 100% sure that evening that like we would not be open. And I was up on the Upper West Side at a customer at the Heights, and I called my manager. Finally got through after we couldn't get through that whole day. And he was like, no, we're open, we're packed. And so I went over, and we were packed. And so I don't know how people respond. This is obviously, like I said, so different. But that was on September 11th. I had a waitressing shift, and we were packed. People wanted to be around people.
It's funny. So. I just had that conversation with my boyfriend last week, where we were talking about that. And I said, 9/11 came up. And I said that on 9/11, I was at a bar drunk with a bunch of my friends. I was in college, and my mom was mad at me that I wasn't sitting at home with them watching all the news. because we just wanted to be together. And I think that's probably very similar. Like everyone I talk to when we do Zoom calls from various groups, it's like, I just want to go out and have happy hour. I just want to see the people that I love. But to kind of reference 9/11, when I was talking to my dad last week about all these changes and all this stuff, and I had said, like, I don't know how comfortable I feel about taking someone's temperature. Like, I was under the feeling that, like, if you as a business decide to be open, you've talked to your staff and you're deciding, hey, if we get sick, we get sick. And my dad said, well, think about 9/11, and the new normal is we now take our shoes off when we go to the airport. We didn't do that before 9/11. So there's going to be things that I think as we start slowly reopening in various businesses, there's going to start being that new normal, where at first we're like, this is annoying. And then we're like, well, it just is what it is right now.
That's a good point.
But
That's true.
It's so true. I mean, think about, I was saying to Rachel and I do a podcast, and last week we talked about how, I flew to Germany the week before 9/11, and like my boyfriend at the time walked me to the gate, which is
can't do that anymore.
Right? Crazy. And then like a month later, I flew international again, and I was like, what is going on? Like, it's so completely different. And
well, remember when you used to bring any size bottle of liquid you wanted?
Full size shampoos.
Full size, but what, for the past 19, 20 years, we're okay with bringing a little thing of, shampoo now. So
clear bag.
Exactly, clear bag. But I think that's what we're going to see in the industry is what the new normal is. And then how do we get our customers used to that when, they're used to something different before? And I think we're going to have those people who are going to be like, man, you're not taking my temperature. All right, go somewhere else. Bye.
Yeah.
Are they talking about having the staff wearing gloves and masks?
Gloves and masks.
Like that too? Yeah.
Yeah, gloves and masks, which we've been doing for all our curbside and takeout. But gloves are going to have to be changed in between service with various items. So that's going to be really interesting because I've already noticed it. I haven't done takeout and curbside, but I've been in the restaurant when managers have, and it's like they're changing it constantly. And me, the P&L person in me, is like, oh my God, that costs so much money.
It's hard to come by.
Yeah.
That would be really
I think we're going to see a lot of fashion masks and logoed masks and branded. There's going to be a lot of, and obviously enough so that you can wear a different one, every day. But I think that that's going to become part of there'll be a lot of
that already is a thing. Like I see it on Facebook all the time. Like Disney just came out with one. I'm a Red Sox fan. They have one, which I was like, oh, I want that. And I have a friend that she's been making them for people. So if people tell her what they like, she'll get that fabric. So
it's funny, when I ordered my mask back in early March, it's just a black fabric mask, but I saw other ones with patterns on it, and at the time I was like, is that appropriate? Like, should I just pick something that's just plain? Like, is that weird? And now everybody's wearing the fun masks.
And that's one of the things I asked. I was like, what are we gonna like tell servers what they can do? Because I have some servers that I wouldn't put it past them to have like a graphic with penises on it, and you're like looking at it like, no.
In the hospitality industry, for sure, you gotta be.
Yeah, like you gotta be strict, like black mask people.
That's so funny.
That's so true.
Infiltrator.
So in Texas, Taylor, have you heard anything about phases opening since they've been talking about possibly opening some things?
Not as detailed as Tennessee, but I think the latest was March 15th or March 12th, one of those two, to begin opening in phases, but I don't know exactly what that looks like yet. So we're still doing, takeout, curbside, delivery, just doing whatever we're allowed to do, but we really don't know much. So we're just doing kind of what everyone else is doing, is planning. We created floor charts. We've already pre-ordered the disposable menus that we'll have to use. And then we have a system already because we had iPads prior. So yeah, we're just trying to keep up. And as soon as we know, we'll let our guests know, but I know nothing as of right now.
it does make me feel a little bit better that people are starting to imagine reopening. Like, I mean, I want to be safe first and foremost, but it does make you feel just in your mind like there might be some light at the end of the tunnel here.
Definitely.
Taylor, earlier I think you had mentioned that you guys were able to put a lot of people back to work. Are you guys doing delivery like on your own, or are you using furloughed staff for that, or servers?
So both. We do have some delivery services that we've partnered with, but then some of our restaurants are also offering delivery up to a certain number of miles from the restaurant, and then they'll do like a set delivery fee, but really that delivery fee is just going as a tip and gas money to the server or sales manager or whoever that's delivering it to them. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely helped us truly to have people come back, because otherwise no one would have a job. We'd be closed. So we're still open, we're still cooking, and we're just ready to get people in the door when we're allowed to.
How's it going with the family meals? I'm just curious to see like who's at their breaking point now where they're just like, just give us a bunch of food so we don't have to cook stuff in the kitchen.
It's so good. It's crazy how, I mean, on certain weekends, it's insane to even say this, but we're doing just as much in sales as we would on a Saturday night, like a busy Saturday night where we're full and on a wait. I mean, that's how much people are ordering. But again, thinking about alcohol costs and people doing the kits, the alcohol kits as well, it's definitely helped. And then all the random recipes that we've added on, we're just able to kind of continue our growth. During the week, it's definitely slower. We're not getting the same sales volume we would if we were doing a la carte. But I mean, hey, if the doors are open, we're doing something right.
We have a couple of local restaurants in my area in Maplewood that are doing the family meals. They have just like 3 options. That's it. No substitutions. They're very clear. It's so much food and it's great. Like we get leftovers and the value is really there that like, yeah, we're cooking 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. So of course we want to replace that and get 2 meals out of it, 3 meals out of it. So it's been, we have trouble getting through some days to even like book it. So I think it's great if they're able to do it and do it safely and staff accordingly and everything, but it's been great.
I've noticed when I've ordered recently, it's taking a lot more time to get my food to my apartment delivered, but I kind of don't mind because it means that a lot of people are ordering from restaurants. So I'm okay with that. I can wait. All right. Anything else that anybody wants to share about some things that have done well for them with customers, like some things that customers have really responded to? Any pictures or I see some more restaurants doing personal things like having employees take pictures of themselves at home and talk about what they're doing, what they're cooking for quarantine, giving people some ideas.
I mean, honestly, like I know this is like very basic, but myself and another salesperson have just been reaching out to our whole entire client list. And from the past couple of weeks of like all rescheduling, cancellations, it's been kind of like a depressing period that it's a welcome joy now that we're reaching out, just adding like a little personal note in to the client. I mean, their feedback is awesome just by saying like, thanks so much for sending this. We're so happy that you guys are back. And it makes you feel good. So they're appreciative that we're even reaching out to them personally.
That's great. Well, I shared a link in the chat. We're trying to do some videos about what's going on right now with the hospitality industry. So I've got a link right there. There's a couple of questions that, it would be great if you could answer just 1 or 2 questions in a video. And then we're going to compile all the answers and just give people a look at different restaurants in different parts of the country and just what they're dealing with right now. And like, what do you want to say to customers? What are you dealing with? So definitely happy to take your video submissions. It's the last link in the chat. So just, whatever you want to talk about is fine with us. And then we're going to take all those videos and make other videos from them.
Azure, when do you need those by?
I guess within the next, week or so. We're just, there's no deadline. We just want to put something together. We just need a few more submissions to get enough footage. I know it's a lot to ask sometimes of like actually taking a video, but you don't have to do anything besides talk or show something, about your venue and talk in the background. That's fine too.
Do your hair.
Nobody cares about hair anymore. Wear a hat.
I got the email. I think
you can have your face mask.
Yeah, I got the email like a week ago. I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And I was like, I haven't worn makeup. I'm not doing that. Yeah, catch me on a day.
A little mascara.
Let's do the thing where you put another face over your face, like
filter.
a dog or something.
Yeah, you put on a filter. Put on a filter.
There you go.
Okay, well, I think we want to talk about next week's topic. So Maz, what do you have? I don't even know what we were discussing for next.
So I actually forgot to do a poll for next week's topic, but if anybody has any ideas, you can put them into the chat box, or I'm going to share a link for like a little survey that if you guys would like to fill out for these roundtables, there's like an option to put in like topic ideas. So
we could also just have like a generalized, how's everyone doing? What's going on in your world?
Yeah, I would love the check-in of like, especially, those of you who have now been with us for several weeks. It's great to see like the updates, like Beth, the fact that you guys are now doing delivery and it's great to know how things are shifting. And Taylor, obviously, the fact that salespeople are coming back and, or anybody who's been furloughed starting to come back. And then Holly obviously dying to know once you guys open up what's going on there. It's going to be really, really useful information. But yeah, I think the general discussions are great too. But if you have specific, and then we can always farm out questions ahead of time to try to get some other folks on the call. So.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and close out today's social hour. So thanks you guys for attending. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Bye.